Partho Sharathi Sarkar, are you there?
Yes, ma'am, I am
You are
here.
there. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. You can start your presentation now.
Okay. Okay.
So
So can you please
if the
show the
listeners,
slide?
if the participants have any questions, you can just write your questions in the chat box. So after the session, we can discuss those questions. So, Partho Sharathi, you can start.
Yeah. Good evening, ma'am, and good evening, all my respected persons who are present here, and all my dear friends and all the persons. So I just like to say that I have means prolific. If we are just considering the myth concept, because myths are the stories which are coming from the traditional or the old days. So if we are considering those stories, then those can definitely say something special to us. As because Shashwati ma'am has told means all the things, whatever be possible in this topic. So I don't have much place to say. Say means a lot of things, but I am just trying to say something in the connection to the meat and gender. So if you please present the slides from your side, then that would be much helpful for me. Is it be possible for you, ma'am? Yeah. So please go to the slide viewing. Means here you just see a cup-like structure in the below table. So here I am just trying to say exploring gender roles in religious myths of India and the USA. I have considered the two countries which are much prominent in today's scenario. And whenever we are just talking about the international relations and all the related things, then those two countries are very much common in our discussion. So I have just tried to see what are the things if we are just trying to consider the two countries. And yeah, anyway, I'm just trying to say, yeah. So according to the Role May, very much famous on the gender issue, and he has told that a myth is a way of making sense in a senseless world. Means if we are not understanding ourselves, then it's totally a senseless world. If someone can know about himself or herself, then only a possibility is there to be developed. So if we are not understanding ourselves, then there is no place of any kind of any development. So if we are just trying to say about the women and their development, then myths should come first. And according to this quote, we can see that we have heard a lot about the Internet of Things. Means all the things, all the materialistic things especially, are much related in today's world. But we have not said or we have not made the world as with the Internet of Women. Means a lot of issues are there and a lot of developmental policies are also there. But where is the development of the woman? Means just with the statistical data, a development cannot be said, or a development cannot be means possible to see. So if the women are not connected with each other, then no proper development is possible. Hence, she has said about the internet of women makes all the women or that section of the society should be common to each other and they should be connected. So I have told here about the definition and importance of myths and being in the social science domain, we all know about the myths, but we have to understand the importance of the myths. Until we are not understanding the importance of the myths, then the total possibility or the total knowledge cannot be gained from the myths. So myths are not only the stories, but myths are the means human made knowledge source from which we can get to know how was our past and what the lessons they learned. Means we all know that experiences teach us, and if we are just learning from the experiences, then that learning is much prominent in our minds and in the societal mindset. I have already asked Ashwati ma'am about the mindset, why the mindset is not changing, because we are not learning from the experiences. And if we start to learn from the experiences, then the mindset should be changed, and that can be started with the myths. Please go to the next slide. So we can see that different types of myths are there, and it is all of the myths are much related to the society, because without any society no myths can be possible, and without any myth no society can go further. So a lot of things are happening in every society, so the myths are always much diversified and variant, and all the myths are saying only a single point. Means a lot of myths and a lot of types of the myths are there, but the main component or the main the point of all those myths are just one, that a society should be formed when everyone should be equal. Means the myths were started when there was no sense of democracy, no sense of modern state polity or anything, but those people told that if the calamities are happening, means if we are just going to the Bible, then you just see that there is a big flood and all the persons are depending on Noah and he is just helping us. So if we are just trying to develop the women section, then it should not be much individualized pattern. Means the male section are doing this kind of things, the female section are doing this kind of things. It is not like that at all. A society is doing these things, and if that sense can be there, then only a development can be possible. Because if we are just making some diversification at the very beginning, then there should not be any unity. And if there is no unity, then there should not be any kind of development. And here comes the religious myths. Because wherever we are and what we are doing and what the things are happening just surrounding us, we all are much religious, and that religion is not the means the Christianity or Hinduism or Islam or anything like that. It is the ultimate realizing ourselves. Means if we are not realizing ourselves, then no mindset can be changed. And if the history has to be changed, then the realization has to be done. And if we are not realizing that these kind of things are happening in the lives of the woman, then we should not be much careful to change that. Means if we are just trying to say that this policy has taken by the government or this policy has taken by some NGOs and other things, but if we are not understanding the need, because if we are not understanding ourselves, then there should not be any realization about the need. So the need has to be realized from the internal core, and after that only some policy or some program can be helpful for the societal development. And here the religious means can play a big role. Means the religious means always say about the ethics and the norms which are much means not justified or not the required for the society. So if that much realization is in the society, then people should try to change the means a preconceived gender notion. And if that change is happening in the inner mind, then only a society should be reflecting that change is happening in that. So understanding on gender. What is the gender? Means we always are dividing the society in two sections, or in the present days we are dividing in three sections. But very prominently, we are dividing our society in two sections. Those are called males and females. But what is the meaning, proper meaning out of that? Because if we are trying to say that just male or just female, it is not they all about. Means if we are trying to say that she is a female, but it is not a single word. It is a complete sense that this type of things should be done by that person, this type of behavior should be received by that person from the society, and a lot of things are there. So if we are trying to understand the gender first, then we must try to understand that he is a person, not he is a male or a female, but a person who is just residing in a society, and he has some duties, some rights, some other things as well. And after that, if we are dividing the person in the two sections, then that can be much helpful for that. But whenever we are just trying to say about the developmental policies or the alike things, then we just not focus on the person properly. We are just dividing the person first in two sections like the male or female, and then we are just giving the policy. And after that, it is much observable that the person is not much satisfactory with that policy, because no division can make any proper change or any positive change. So we have to think that the person is unique and he is residing in this society. After that, if we just say that he is a male or a female, then I think that societal change can be much prominent and can be much hopeful. Next slide, please. So, how the gender and myth are connected? Means gender and myth are two main components if we are dividing or thinking about the society from the sociological or social perspective. Gender and myth are always much connected. They are not divided or not separated from each other. A myth always saying that from the heaven two persons came and they were residing here and they were doing this kind of things, and after that some other things were happening and a lot of things. And from that point of view we can say that gender was just started at a very single point of time when there was no sense of gender. Means Adam and Eve came to this world, but they did not know about themselves first. There were two components in this world, and after a few days or a few years, they started to realize themselves as male or female. And from them, the society or the world has started. Next slide, please. So, different sociologists on gender and myths. I don't think that you all can say all the things here because the writing is not clear and the slide is not opening properly. So anyway, I'm just trying to say the Simone de Beauvoir, who first started to think that women has to get the equal rights in the society. Means just in the 1920, European society has given the right to vote to the woman, and it is around 100 year only, all around 100 year, when the society has given the voting right to the woman, and before that, no right even to vote was given to the woman. So societal thinking was started to think from the perspective like the male or the female, not the societal representative or not in the unitary fashion. And that was the very much problematic case when no proper development was possible. If we are not thinking that he is a social representative or she is a social representative, and we are just starting our policy by thinking that he is a male or a female, then we are just dividing in a society. And a division is not good for any society. Means the partition. When we are just thinking the partition in our nation, then it is showing a lot of problems in our nation. So if we are just dividing in our society, then how can it be? be some good for the men or for the male as well. That is the case. Next slide, please. So, objectives. What is the reason to do this research? Examine gender representation, how we are representing ourselves. Explore the impact on believers. Means if someone is from the Hindu community or someone is from the Islam community or someone is from the Christian community, how they are thinking about the woman. Is there any kind of differentiation or they are thinking in the same way? And evaluate intersectionality, access rituals and practices, and then understand historical changes. As already Shashwati has told that from the history to the modern days, the society has seen a lot of changes. But how much change has come in the mindset to realize or to think a person as equal to a male? Next slide, please. So here is some needs to do the study, address gender equality, inform interfaith dialogues, gender policy and advocacy, enhance religious literacy, facilitate inclusive theological discourses. Because till date, when we are in the 21st century, we are much religious. We always are teaching something and can be atheist or can be theist, but still we are much think about the religions. That religion has said this, religion has said that, and alike. So, if religion can be helpful for the developmental policies as well, then that can be much helpful for the societal development as well. Next slide, please. So, here is my methodology. Next slide, please. So, religious myths from India and the USA means India is the developing country and the USA is developed country. But if we are just considering basic things from the Ramayana or from the Mahabharata, and if we are just comparing it with the New Testament, then we just need to see that two religions, two nations, but they are just trying to say to the woman that just be submissive and just follow the male portions of the society. And if you are just trying to protect yourself, then you have to depend on the male. You can't even protect yourself as per societal norm. Here I have saying means I have given all the related information, but I don't think that you can see all the things. Next slide, please. So here is the outcome. Means what is the outcome out of this research? Deeper understanding of gender narrative, manifestation of power dynamics, impact on believers, cross-cultural comparison, and intersectional analysis. I think which can be considered as outcome from this research. Next slide, please. Next slide. Skeleton. So here also I have saying something what I have realized to do the research. Next slide. So conclusion that one country is developing and one country is developed. One country is believing, mostly believing on the Hinduism, and another country is believing on the Christianism. But there is no much difference if we are just considering the gender case. And if we are just trying to see it from the mythological or from the books of the religions, then we are just getting to see that they are not at all much differentiated to realize or to think that women are not equal to men and women should be much submissive to the men. Next slide, please. Here is my references, and the last slide is saying about the thank you. Thank you for very much for giving me the chance to present my research thought here. Thank you. You can end the slide showing.
So, thank you so much, Parthasharthi. So, I'll like to request Dr. Chaudhary to comment on this, and if Meenakshi Madam is present here, your comments, please, on the presentation.
Yeah, hello. Yeah,
Yes, yes,
can you
ma'am.
hear me?
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Yeah, okay. No, thank you very much. I have heard fully Mr. Parthasarthi's slide, and I agree with him that, in fact, you cannot segregate societies into male and female, because then nothing will get done. Whatever effort has to is targeted towards women must be, a targeted approach, but as part of society, not as an isolated entity. That message is clear. Uh, the only thing is, I was thinking, Mr. Parthasarthi, in this presentation, you could give examples of, for example, where if we address women's problems in an isolated
Mm-hmm.
manner versus a situation where we address it in a holistic manner.
Mm-hmm.
So, if you give one or two examples, I think that would be helpful.
Yes, ma'am, definitely, ma'am.
Yeah.
I will
Okay.
remember the point.
Yeah, yeah,
Thank you,
sure.
ma'am.
Yeah.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah.
Now, any question?
I
Yeah.
just conclude and we'll share the link for the participant for the certificate in the chat box. Please
Yes.
go through that and fill up the thing for the certificate. We will send the certificate through email. And if you attend all those uh, almost every day, then we'll give a certificate in GFS studies. That will be issued like a course only. So
Yes.
total 20-hour course if you attend, and there will be assessment, and then you can use the like a certificate course in gender
Yes.
studies. Okay, you can conclude.
Okay, and so thank you all the participants. Thank you both the speakers. You were just wonderful, Dr. Shashwati Bodole and Partho Sarathi Sarkar. And Dr. Partho Sarathi Sarkar has given us it's like an enlightenment. So I have to read the slides first, then I'll understand his thinking or thoughts. And he's quite right that in it is the society who divides us into male and female, men and women basically. And thank you, Minakshi madam, for joining us
Not at
today.
all. No, no, not at all. I'm
No,
very
ma'am, I
happy
have
to
to
be
thank you
here.
because you're so busy, and out
No,
of
no,
that
that's
busy
all right.
schedule, you
I
have
can
got
always
time to join
prioritize
us.
my time.
And we hope we will get you every day
Well,
on a
let's hope
discussion.
so. Let's
Yeah,
hope so.
yeah.
I'll be happy to
Let's
join from
hope
time to
so.
time. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
thank you
But yeah,
all.
but I know, as I was saying, each paper should have some conclusions. Whether even when you talk about uh, you know dealing with the problem from a holistic point of view in society, or in an isolated manner, whatever it is, ultimately it's all a question of access,
Yes,
availability of services to women, and it's a question of improving their lot. It's a question of making it easier for them. It's a question of getting the men and the children in that society used to the
yes,
role, the presence, of women, and so on. So I think if each paper, along with their core research, focuses on these items, you will get a very good, selection of papers.
yes. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank
Uh,
you.
Thank you, Dr. Chaudhary, for giving us this opportunity to collaborate with Arjun Vidyapith College Autonomous and Women's Cell. And I'm very on behalf of our principal, I thank GFSRD for giving us this opportunity to hold a 10-day international lecture series. Hope this lecture series will be a great success,
Yeah.
and hoping for the best. Thank you again, all. And let's join on 2nd December for the next session.
Okay. Thank
Uh,
you.
Okay. Thank
Thank
you.
you
Thank you.
all.